So now that we have understood one of the important parts of the electrical problem, which was the generating the potential, how to actually get the energy, the battery, let's look at the other important aspects, which is also discussed in your book, which is an electric bulb. Okay, so we need, once we have the electricity, we need to put it to good use. And the most common example is, of course, an electric bulb. So if we look at it, the detailed structure of an electric bulb, it is made up of the most important part is, of course, the filament. Right? This is the center part of the center wire inside the bulb, a very thin wire, it's a filament, and a very long one too, all coiled up inside. This is what gives the light energy. Okay, when we light the bulb, this is the part which actually generates the light. The center coil, the center filament, is connected on the two sides using wires. One of these wires goes to the very bottom of the bulb. It is known as the foot of the bulb. Okay, it is at the very bottom, the tip, bottom tip. The other wire goes, and the other side, right? The other wire goes and connects to the base of the bulb. This is where the bulb attaches the holder. Of course, the bulb is made up of glass, which we know. Inside the bulb, right, the filament glows very hot. It is very high in temperature. So at that high temperature, just to prevent the filament from reacting with the air, from oxidizing due to the oxygen, we remove all the air from inside the bulb. And instead, inside the bulb, we put an inert gas, a gas which is not so reactive. For example, argon. Argon is a good example of such a gas. So the way, right, similar to the battery, inside the bulb also, we have two terminals. Okay, the electricity or the electrons enter from one of the terminals, pass through the filament, and they go out from the other terminal. Okay, so this is very important, and this is the reason why the filament is so important. So that we can fit the very long filament inside the bulb, it is coiled up not once but twice, right? So we make a coil from the wire and then we coil that coil again. Okay, so it is double coiled. That's what we call it. And of course, as the electrons from the current, as the electrons pass through the wire, the filament exerts some pressure. It sort of does not allow the electrons to flow through smoothly, and this thing generates this friction, kind of friction inside the filament, what we call resistance. Okay, the technical term for the filament stopping the electrons is resistance. This resistance of the filament actually generates the heat energy. This heat is so large, right? This resistance is so large that the filament reaches a very high temperature. So we need to make a filament of a material which has high resistance, and at the same time it has very high melting point. And a good choice for such a material is tungsten. Okay, so tungsten is what is used to make the filament of the electric bulb.